today's topic, that is superposition of two polarized light. We are going to consider a doubly refracting crystal in this case. So what will happen is, if I am having a light which is passing through this crystal, then it will create two polarized light. One will be E and another will be O. So these are our optic axis. And now, so this is our axis. So let us call this one X coming out from here. So now I have this as my X, this as my Y. And now we are going to imagine that from behind this crystal, a ray is going to hit such that it is perpendicular to plane of our screen. So a ray of light is going to hit over here such that it might make some angle theta with x-axis. So this is my theta and this is A. Let's say center is P. So this is a crystal, or you can call it a medium which is doubly refracting. These white lines are actually the optic axis. So these are optic axis, such that ray of light is incident perpendicular to this. So the plane of vibration for that light which is incident before the crystal will be unpolarized, but as soon as this ray of light hits the crystal, or for simplicity, let us consider that this is a plain polarized monochromatic light which is incident normally to this crystal, and such that this optic axis is cut parallel to its face. So this is face of the crystal, optic axis is parallel to it, and let this A be the amplitude of vibration that makes angle theta with the optic axis, because X is parallel to optic axis. Okay, so that the vibration is along PA. So as we discussed previously, E always has a state of polarization which is parallel to optic axis. So E will be along this direction. So this would be my E, because it is parallel to optic axis, and O is perpendicular to optic axis. So this will be O. Fine. Now let us define E wave amplitude and O wave amplitude. So let us take O wave amplitude as, so my O wave amplitude, O wave of amplitude, let us define that as small b. This is theta. So with respect to this theta, A sine theta. So this will be, B will be A of sine theta. Now, similarly, what will be E wave amplitude? We can write small a equals A of cos theta. So these are your O ray and E ray. But because they are now moving such that their motion is perpendicular to optic axis, then you remember that both of them will be traveling in same line and will exit from the same place. So when they will emerge with the path difference. And what will be path difference? Let's say this crystal has thickness D, D of NO minus NE. Let's say this I'm assuming to be calcite crystal, which is negative. Okay, so NO is greater than NE. So now, in this case, if this is the path difference created between the two, what will be phase difference? Phase difference can be given by delta equals 2 pi by lambda, because we are considering this to be monochromatic light, multiplied to the path difference, which is G of NO minus NE. Now here see what is happening. So we are going to tackle two things at a time. One thing is, what is the angle between the vibration of plane polarized light which is incident on this crystal with respect to optic axis. Now imagine when this theta is 0, then what will happen? The emergent ray will be only E, because there will be no O possible for this crystal. If my theta is 90, then emergent ray will be only ordinary, extraordinary will not be possible. If and only if the theta is in between, I mean greater than 0 and less than 90, only in that situation, or I mean vice versa for the other quadrants, then only you will have both O and E component available in the emergent beam. If theta is exactly 45, then only the amplitude of extraordinary will be equivalent to ordinary. This ordinary and extraordinary are we only considering when the rays are inside the crystal. Once they come out of the crystal, this will be a plane, this will be a light which will be formed because of superposition of ordinary, which is having plane of vibration perpendicular to optic axis, and extraordinary, which is having the plane of vibration parallel to optic axis. So now that we are going to discuss about what will be the state of polarization depending upon theta and delta. So here theta is dependent upon the angle of incidence. That means the angle between the optic axis and state of polarization of incident plane polarized light. Whereas delta is the phase difference which will be created by D, which is the thickness of the crystal. So now we are going to discuss what will happen to the state of polarization when our ray emerges from the crystal. So now let us write equation for E and O. I can write along X, we will have small a sine of omega t plus delta, and Y equals B of sine of omega t. Omega is frequency of vibration, and as we have already discussed, small a is a cos theta and small b is a sin theta. So now I have two waves which are both sinusoidal waves. One is moving along x is my E and along y is my O. Extraordinary, which is going to come such that its vibration will be along x-axis and your amplitude is given by capital A cos of theta, where this theta is the angle made by incident wave with respect to optic axis. If so, my sinusoidal disturbance can be given by sine of omega t plus delta. So this is extraordinary. This is positive crystal. So O is greater than E. So O will be slower than E. Okay. So E will be ahead of O. So E will have extra phase difference with respect to O. Therefore, O is represented by B sine omega t and E is represented by A sine omega t plus delta. Delta will be dependent upon thickness, where it is given by 2 pi by lambda into d no minus ne, and theta will depend upon the angle with which plane polarized light is incident on the crystal. So now let us do some calculations looking at this. So here now we can say, let us just label it equation 1 and equation 2. So from equation 1, I can write x upon a. Let us bring that this side. So x by a will be sine of omega t plus delta. And you know that sine of a plus b equals sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. So let us put that in practice. So it will be sine of omega t cos of delta plus cos of omega t into sine of delta. We also know from here that this Sine of omega t can also be written as y by b. So let us substitute this sine of omega t with y by b. Y by b cos of delta plus, and we know the identity sine square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. So therefore, we can write cos omega t as root of 1 minus y square by b square into sine of delta. Let us simplify it. So this can be written as, so what was our left hand side? X by a, and I can take it on left hand side, so y by b into cos of delta, and if we square that term, that would be equal to 1 minus y square by b square into sine of delta. Sorry, this will also be square. So let us just write the last step. The last step would be simplification, just we want to write. So we can write that as x square by a square plus y square by b square minus, so because minus 2ab you will write, so this is a minus b whole square. So minus, we will have 2xy by ab into cos of delta equal to, when you square this one, this will become y square cos square delta by b square, and this will become y square b square sine square delta. So when you bring both things together and take y square by b square common, sine square delta plus cos square delta will become 1. So this is our master equation. Now we are going to take special cases. Let us do it. I want to finish it today only, so that actually this is already equation of ellipse, where you will have, it will be confined in a rectangle of side 2a and 2b. Let me draw that also. That really becomes very easy to understand. Okay, so now this is our x, this is y, this is theta, this is actually a, and this is b. And our vibrations are here, this and this. So this is the equation for ellipse. So your ellipse will be confined to this rectangle of side 2a and 2b. Let us consider special case. So my first special case is delta equal to 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, or you can say delta is 2m pi, where m equals 0, 1, 2. So that is easier to substitute. So in this situation, if my delta is 0, then sine 0 will become 0 and cos 0 will become 1. So you will have sine of delta will be 0 and cos of delta will become 1. And what we will get, if you substitute, this equation will become equivalent to whole square of x by a minus y by b. So you can write x by a minus y by b whole square equal to 0. Because now my right hand side is sine delta, which is again 0. Or which will be x by a equal to y by b, or which is equals to y equals b by a into x. So this is a straight line equation, and hence the emergent light will be plane polarized with vibration in the same plane as the original incident light. This was our original incident also, correct? Theta. So if delta is 0, what does that mean? D is 0. Where we are getting delta from? 2 pi by lambda into d into no minus ne. Or if it is creating a full wavelength of delta, so that is 2 pi. So if your delta is multiple of 2 pi, in that case, you are just doing round and round with phase difference equivalent to 0. So your output ray will be similar to what was your incident ray, and emergent light will be plane polarized. Let us do the next one. Substitute delta equal to pi. If delta is equal to pi, in that case, our sine of delta would become 0 and cos of delta, so cos of delta will be minus 1, and you will have x by a plus y by b whole square equals 0. So your new condition would be y equals, if we take square root and take it on the other side, minus b by a into x. So let us draw that rectangle thing again. So as we have already seen what is the expected outcome, now our line will have a negative slope of b by a, or the theta will become negative. So now I have this negative theta x, y, b and a. So here the situation remains such that your light is still linearly polarized, but its plane of rotation is rotated. So earlier if it was positive theta like this, now that has become negative theta. If you want to get this small a and small b equal, then that is only possible at theta equals 45 degree. So if your incoming wavefront will remain same, so only at 45 degree, a cos theta will becomes equal to a sin theta. Therefore, if your incoming plane polarized wave before hitting the crystal is making 45 degree angle with its optic axis, then E ray and O ray will have same amplitude. So we have special case 3 where delta equals pi by 2, or all odd multiples of pi by 2. So we can call that as delta equals 2m plus 1 pi by, where m is going from 0, 1, 2 and so on. So in this case, sine of delta will be 1, sine 91, and cos 90 is 0. So our new equation will become x square by a square plus y square by b square equals 1, which is essentially equation of ellipse. Your ellipse will be having these sides. So this would be, its height will be b, and this side would be a. This was our x, this was our y. Now, in this situation, what will happen? If your theta is 45, so that will be your special case. So we can add one more case to this to get a circular thing. So this is our last thing where we have when delta equals pi by 2 or 3 pi by 2 and theta equals 45 degree. So that your A equals A cos theta is equal to, and B equals A sin theta, and hence your small a becomes equal to small b. So now if all that you substitute over there, then you will get equation as x square by a square plus y square by again a square equal to 1, which will become x square plus y square equal to a square, which is equation for a circle. So this is nothing but the last situation where if my b becomes equals to a, in that case, this will be a circle. Now, if D, that is the thickness of the plate, is adjusted such that you get, let's say, this situation, the fourth one, that delta becomes pi by 2. Now delta is dependent on what? Delta is 2 pi by lambda into d into delta mu. So if you choose the thickness d such that it is making delta to be odd multiple of pi by 2, and you align theta as 45, your incident beam was plane polarized, your outgoing beam is what? Circularly polarized. So such kind of wave plate is called as a quarter wave plate, because pi by 2 phase difference is equivalent to lambda by 4 path difference. Then if I have the condition where theta is not equal to 45 but delta is still equal to pi by 2, in that case your output will be elliptically polarized light. So your incident beam is plainly polarized. D, you managed the same thing where your quarter wave plate, that means. But now you are aligning it to the theta other than 45. So if you have a quarter wave plate which is aligned at 45, incoming is plane polarized, outgoing is circularly polarized. If theta is other than 45, incoming is plane polarized, outgoing is elliptically polarized. And next, if we have a thickness such that delta is pi, in that case, incoming is plane polarized, outgoing is also plane polarized, but instead of plus theta, now it is minus theta. Such kind of plate is called as half wave plate, because now your lambda is equivalent to, the path difference is lambda by 2, which is equivalent to pi. Okay. And the last one, if we have, see, delta 0 is not possible, but I can always have a D which will give me 2 pi or 4 pi. Such kind of wave plate is called as a full wave plate. So your incoming beam is plane polarized, outgoing beam is also plane polarized. So these are called as retarding plates.